Welcome in, everybody. It's episode 103 of the Definitely Dads. We hope you have checked out our last few episodes on YouTube now. It's a new thing, but we're doing it. And so our last few episodes are on our page. You can search Definitely Dads on YouTube, find the other ones. But Justin, as we've been going through our celebrities, the one person I thought of that we might be in the right weight was Jaden Smith, Will Smith's son. And I thought of him specifically in that movie, whatever that movie's name is. I still can't remember what the name of that movie is, where he does it with Will Smith. And it's both of them. But that Jaden Smith, he was a rail dude. He had to have been right around 100 pounds. There's just no way he was more than that.
I wonder how tall he is.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these celebrities, man, Christina just had the Oscars on, and I'm like, dude, all of you could be featured in our next 10 episodes. Except for like,
do you guys watch that a lot? Are you like in tune?
No, Christina likes it because she likes to see the clothes and outfits and stuff. I have not seen one movie that was like on or that they were featuring on the thing. Like I was kind of walking around. She had them on Sunday, and like I'd heard of stuff, but I was like, I've never seen this movie before. So
right.
And then now there's a lot of celebrities that I don't know.
Like just younger people.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I don't know who you are, but I'm sure you're doing really cool stuff.
It's what happens as you get older, You stop paying attention to that stuff. It doesn't matter as much. Yeah. Who cares?
I have one for you. Thought of this earlier. Jose Altuve, 103 pounds.
Have you seen the video of there's a video where someone put together a toddler of some sort who like starts running away, and then it blends into Altuve running around the bases.
But that's awesome.
I need to find that and send it to you. It's a pretty funny video.
He's one of the least likable athletes.
100%.
Which he seems like a really nice guy, so that is kind of weird. But like he's just totally. Every time I see him on the TV, I'm gonna be honest. Every time I watch him hit, I'm hoping for like some high cheddar up and in.
Coming from a Dodgers fan, though, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, but I feel like that there's a lot of people because I don't want to get too down the sports thing here, but they cheated a lot of teams prior to that. The Yankees that they beat in the playoffs. Yeah. I just recently heard a thing on the Bill Simmons podcast was talking about the team before the Yankees that they played.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean, just
who was it? Was it the Indians that year?
I don't
Cleveland.
Remember. I don't.
But yeah,
remember.
In my mind, he's going to go down in history as a cheater forever. I don't care how good he is with his stats, but it is what it is.
He's got to be close to $1 for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Tiny
built
little
like
guy.
a fire hydrant for sure. That's going to be the news statement. Built like a fire hydrant.
Yeah,
for sure. Him and Peter Dinklage. So you had said that you had some stuff concerning baseball because you're coaching baseball. So what's going on with that?
We had our first game this past weekend, and we're the Angels. I might have said all this stuff.
No,
but we're the Angels.
So you got a guy only playing 5 games this year, like Anthony Rendon.
Yeah, and then Mike Trout too. So the kids were pumped. Obviously, this is Jackson's first year on the team. So we had our game on Saturday, opening day ceremonies. Which, oh my gosh, opening day ceremonies for any Little League parents listening. Dude, those are brutal. Those are so hard.
What is it? I haven't done one. What is that?
So it's basically it's cool. Like when you think about it, it's fun. It's they do it once a year for opening day, but everyone meets at the field. So every age of every division meets up with their team, full uniform, coaches, parents, and they group you up. And you walk in, they'll announce your team name. You're usually on the biggest field at the facility, everyone together. They'll announce your team and the head coach name and assistant coaches, and you'll have your banner that walks out, and your kids walk out with you, and then you sit down on the spot of the field. They do
cool.
the national anthem, and they do a couple presentations. The city officials are there, so like our mayor was here.
That's fun.
And then they do like raffles and stuff for the kids, and that's pretty much, they throw out like an opening pitch. The whole ceremony takes about an hour once you're like on the field. But dude, when you got a bunch of little kids,
time to keep
dude,
kids
you
on
got
the field.
snacks, blankets, and you're trying to keep them in your group because they give you an area where you're supposed to be.
Right.
And so it's just hard. They start at 8. You have to be there at 7:30 with your team. And so, like, dude, being with your little kids, especially the little kids. I got 6 and 7-year-old, and Jackson's 5, but I got 6 and 7-year-olds on my team. And, like, I'm like, dude, you guys have to just be standing here in your uniform, trying not to get dirty from 7:30 to pretty much 9:30.
Yeah, do they do team pictures that day too?
Mm-mm.
Later? Or no, that's
No.
later.
Team pictures are later on, after our pants are already stained green. So we had that. So anyways, we had that. They ended at like 9. They ended at like 9:15. We went home for a little bit, came back for our first game at 3, and we won 9-2. And Jaden had 2 hits at 2 RBIs. Was not worried about that as his dad. I just knew he hits in the 3-hole. He's got it down. I was a little nervous about Jackson.
Sure.
Because he's just a little guy. And even the small bats, like huge in his hands. And went 2 for 2.
Didn't even bother him.
And I think a lot of these kids, they get 5 pitches on the machine. Because a lot of these kids will miss 4 pitches and then foul off one and get a hit. And Jackson's first at bat, he swung and missed the first pitch, hit the second one. Which I can tell, like how soon because it's a machine. So how soon in the slew of pitches are they getting a hit? And then Jackson's second at bat, first ball came out.
Tagged it.
Little ground ball right back up the middle and took off. His helmet fell off when he runs. He's so funny, but it's fun because like everyone knows him, and so like he's always been the little brother that couldn't play. But so it's fun because all of our parents and players all rally, like we're cheering like crazy, and so I actually gave him the game ball. And so he
fun.
like just was like super pumped and kind of fun to be included. But we have a video of his hit that Christina took, and you can hear all the parents like, "Go Jackson!" Because he's just like always, he's always around. So it's fun. But anyways, 1-0. Really looking forward to being 17-0. That's what I'm going for.
The Real Angels organization needs to get a hold of you and say, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Hey, I got some prospects.
Yeah. And just on how to win games, because they, again, not to dive too far into sports, but just a train wreck of an organization.
I know.
And that's kind of wild that Orange County is not being represented well in baseball.
Dude, it makes me so sad. We've talked about this. If I could own any sports team, it wouldn't be the Dolphins or the Dodgers or the Lakers. It'd be the Angels, and that's what I'd want to do.
Well, yeah, you don't have to do anything to just maintain. And if you win 80 games, you're up and to the right. Like it's a good day.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite sports park to just be at.
Wild.
I'm the least stressed. Like for some reason, I'm able to just chill out, and maybe because nothing matters there. That might be why.
Nothing matters.
It
doesn't matter. It's a bunch of rich old white people.
Don't worry about a thing because everything's going to be all right. Like,
well, and being at Dodger Stadium is different because Dodger fans fight each other all the time. You don't know what's going to happen at Dodger Stadium. That's part of the excitement.
I've gone to both stadiums so many times, and I'm not stressed out when I go to Dodger Stadium either. But like, you're kind of tight. It's kind of crammed. I mean, it's big. But it's just much. Different. It's fun. It's a blast. It's more fun than an Angel game for sure. But like, when I'm talking like a Sunday evening baseball game, and I'm like, dude, I can like, you can be lazy at Angel Stadium, and I like that sense of just like, they're lazy, I'm lazy, and this is like we're just vibing here. This is kind of fun.
Yeah.
So
I get
I
it.
don't know.
I get it. Well, we didn't want to take too long before we jumped into trivia. And so, I mean, a little bit of what we're talking about in terms of cities and whatnot is actually part of my trivia. Sorry, I smacked my mic right there. So everyone's going to hear that. But I was actually thinking about this the other day just because I saw some random video and it talked about how Yakima is really not a great place to live. It's considered the like second worst city in the Washington to live in.
Shut up! Is it really
behind Tacoma? Yeah, behind Tacoma. Both places we've lived.
Yeah.
So, but it got me thinking: what are the actual worst places to live? So I wanted to ask you, Justin. According to Real Estate US News.
Okay.
.com, because I'm sure you're very familiar with this website. But it's obviously real estate based. They listed their top 10 most dangerous places in 2024 and 2025. And it talks about how crime rate is one of the deciding factors, but also it's city's murder rate and property crime rate. So it's all three of those things. So it's not just one thing per 100,000 people. So crime rate per 100,000 people. And this is based on some FBI reports, I guess. Okay. So can you list off for me the 10 worst cities in the United States? Most dangerous.
Number one's going to be Memphis.
Memphis, Tennessee. Number one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're going to have Oakland on that.
Oakland is not in the top 10.
It's not in the top 10?
Not in the top 10. Believe it or not in the top 10. Oakland's
I don't know if I trust this article.
That's why I actually thought this was pretty interesting. Memphis is on there, but yeah.
Is Memphis number one?
Memphis is number one. Yeah. Memphis, Tennessee.
Bro, I've seen that they have like a 1 out of every 41 like violent crime rate.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's unsettling.
It's insane. Yeah.
So, okay, we got Memphis. I'm going to go Chicago.
Chicago, just outside the top 10. Actually. Okay. Based on crime rate. Remember, crime rate per 100,000 people.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So Chicago's outside the top 10 here.
I really thought Oakland was going to be on it.
A lot of these are going to be South and Midwest areas.
For sure. How about Cincinnati?
Cincinnati is not on the top 10.
Man.
Not in the top 10.
Cleveland?
Cleveland's number 7 most dangerous place. That's why, that's why they put so much stock in their sports teams, because their quality of life, according to this website, is 6.4 out of 10.
Ooh,
so you need the sports to do well there. Better than 5. Memphis, Tennessee is a 5.2.
Yeah. Okay. So
you got Cleveland. There's another place
Detroit.
Around up there. Detroit, Michigan, number 3. Also, one of the most dangerous places.
There's someone in between Memphis and Detroit. That's number 2, huh?
A little farther south, but yeah, similar area, I guess. But there's a handful. There's a handful that are on there. So you have Cleveland at 7. You got Memphis at 1. You have Detroit at 3.
How is Oakland not on this list? This makes 0 sense to me. I'm gonna say Tacoma. Is Tacoma on there?
Tacoma's not in the top 10.
Wow.
I don't even know if they're. Let me see if Seattle is technically in the top 25. But yeah. So not top 10.
Well, I just saw DK Metcalf requested a trade.
Great news. Yeah, that's fun.
Good for him.
All our fantasy football players out there that listen, Jackson Smith-Njigba stock is through the roof right now.
Yeah,
so
right.
Go on and get you a piece of that with Lockett leaving.
Ooh, how about like El Paso, Texas?
Not Texas.
That's dangerous. Dangerous
Actually,
down there.
no Texas. No part of Texas in the top 10. Based on crime rates, at least.
Okay, so I'm gonna go. Atlanta. Was it Birmingham, Alabama?
Birmingham, Alabama
Yeah.
was on there. They are number 4.
Okay.
Roll Tide.
Yeah. Okay. So I got 4. I got 4 out of the 10 right now.
Yes. Yeah.
We're
still missing 2. We're missing number 2. You got 3 with Detroit, and you got 4 with Birmingham, and you got 1 with Memphis.
There's got to be a place in Florida, like Jacksonville.
You would think Jacksonville should be on this list, but they're actually not.
Okay. How about there's got to be somewhere in Mississippi on there.
Not a Mississippi, but there are some. There's another couple that are in the South.
Okay. Did I already say Atlanta? I said Atlanta.
You said Atlanta. It's not Atlanta. Because again, remember, it's per 100,000 people.
Right.
Atlanta's got a ton of people. That's the thing.
Ooh. Are there any more in Tennessee?
No more in Tennessee. I'll tell you, there's 2 in Missouri.
Oh, is it St. Louis? One of them.
St. Louis is number 2 on
St.
the
Louis
list.
is number 2.
St. Louis, Missouri. 2.2 million people in St. Louis, Missouri. Number 2.
And then the only other city in Missouri, I know Branson and Kansas City.
Kansas City, number 8. You know, those Chiefs fans, you know. What was it? The Wolf guy, the guy who showed up to all the Kansas City games in the Wolf outfit. Do you remember this?
Bank robber?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
He got like 12 years in prison, I think. Something like that.
Yeah, for those that don't know, every sports team or every NFL team, let's say, has these like diehard mega fans that follow them everywhere and go. They're kind of famous fans. Like, I know the Niners have some.
Well known. Yeah,
the Dolphins have some. Where like, if I saw some of the famous Dolphin fans, and they're not famous people, they're only famous because of their fanhood.
They always
and,
sit
like,
in the front row of every home game.
They had a guy
their
like
heads
that.
Painted.
Like all the Chiefs fans knew who he was. He's like a guy that if you go to a Chiefs game, you want to take a picture with him.
Yeah,
and there had been a bunch of banks getting robbed. But so the guy always wore, was it a wolf mask?
It was a wolf head, yeah, like a mask, a wolf
You never see his face. And so they found out that this guy was the bank robber, though, and he'd been going all these games.
And that's how he was funding going to Chiefs games. He was robbing banks and going to Chiefs games. Unreal.
So that deserves a movie.
Congrats, Kansas City. Or at least a ESPN 30 for 30 or something.
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
So let me, I'll give you just a couple more. So, I mean, we're missing right now. Let's see. We're missing 5. We're missing 6. You got 7. You got 8. We need 9 and 10.
Let me think.
These ones are, well, I mean, they're known, like you'll know of these places when I tell you them.
Right.
But they're a little obscure. So,
like, do I have a shot at guessing them?
I would say 2. No, 2 of them you don't. 2 of them, maybe. One of them's down in the South.
Oh, New Orleans?
New Orleans, number 6. New Orleans, Louisiana. Crime rate apparently not great, even though it's a fun time to be there. But as we know, a truck just plowed into a crowd of people a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Maybe not the safest place to move to. So dangerous.
Let me think.
I think the last 3, one of them is still considered the South. One of them's Midwest. And the other one's more mountainside.
Kind of blanking.
Number 10 coming in is a surprising one. Denver, Colorado. Number 10.
Oh, really?
Denver, Colorado.
Those hippie dippies over there freaking out?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe they're stealing each other's stuff to go smoke weed or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
Number 9. This is the one that I didn't think you'd be able to get. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten that at all.
No idea why. Never been there. Don't have any plans to go there. But apparently Myrtle Beach, dangerous place to live.
People wind up in Myrtle Beach.
It's true. They sure do. And then the last one coming in at number 5, Little Rock, Arkansas.
Little Rock. That makes
Little
sense.
Rock. Yeah.
A lot of those areas just kind of seem like they're just like the same.
Yeah, it's probably similar vibe. When you roll into town, you're going to see a broke down sign and some bad houses, and
right. Yeah. Yeah.
So there you go. If you wanted to know what the top 10 most dangerous cities in the world were, that's them.
Where's Oakland on that list?
Honestly, wasn't even in the top 25.
That doesn't make any sense.
I 100% agree. And the fact that Jacksonville, the fact that no Florida state or no Florida city is on there, Jacksonville's got to be on that list.
Oakland is like notorious for like the most dangerous spot in the West Coast.
What it has specifically listed as is it
real estate based, right?
I'd have to look at it again. Yeah, was it Vallejo or was it San Jose or Vallejo? It was one of those that was specifically listed, not Oakland. So I don't know. Interesting.
I just looked it up. I'm gonna see if.
I just don't know why, because I've been to Oakland, and I've drove through there.
Oh, Stockton. I didn't even think of Stockton.
Stockton is probably is it in the top 25?
It's 10 on the list I just found. Oakland's third. I just ChatGPT'd it, but so I know this is not totally accurate.
Yeah,
Anchorage, Alaska.
Pulling from a different source. Oh, dude, did you see the video of that jet that went down in Alaska? Like an actual military jet? Wild.
No.
I'll have to send you the video of that.
Oh,
too.
did it run into something else again?
No, a dude ejected out of it. He had like a failure, and you just see it spinning. Someone took a video of it, and it just boom blows up as it hits the ground.
Did he survive?
Yeah, he jumped. He got evacuated, and you saw $35 million in taxpayer money just explode right in front of you. It's crazy.
That being ejected from an airplane, is there a more I almost died moment?
It sure feels that way.
Like
I can't imagine.
Like
I definitely don't want to.
I mean, like, because I want to be sensitive here, but like, car accidents, people roll cars, people get shot at, which I'm sure that's up there. But like when you lay in bed one night and you're like, I was up in the air in an airplane and it was going down
and flying very fast. Like this was not another airplane. It was a
well, and like, dude, ejecting yourself out of a plane is not like this like peaceful thing. Just the ejection itself, like
right.
That like
yeah, it's a violent thing. Yeah,
like let me just launch myself out of this airplane straight up into the air real quick.
Yeah, crazy.
That's a day right there.
Well, speaking of days, we talked about how there's things in our lives as dads that can sometimes just put you off tilt. Being ejected out of an airplane would probably be one of those. I imagine the rest of your day is probably ruined if that had happened.
Dude. Yeah.
But we want to talk. We have a whole episode about things that make us rage. Honestly, we're probably going to do a follow-up part 2 to that one at some point because our kids get older and things change.
Things do change.
But Justin and I wanted to share about just some of the things for us that just put you off tilt from
grumpy.
the jump.
Dad grumpy.
Grumpy dads. And
grumpy dads.
It makes you... it makes me think back to when I was a kid and like, man, my dad was just so grumpy all the time. And now I'm getting older and like,
if we do this podcast for another 15 years, whatever we are, we should switch our name to the Grumpy Dads podcast.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen because there's already things that put you off tilt. So Justin, what's something that just puts you off tilt, makes you a grumpy dad? And it's like hard to shake.
yeah, like it's not gonna make me rage. I'm not gonna want to like attack anybody or anything. Like my rage moments. This is kind of relevant to me right now, actually, and I didn't have this initially on my list, but I noticed it when I woke up today. We live in California. It doesn't rain a lot, but I still have stuff that when it rains, you need to consider moving, covering with a tarp. Taking I got stuff outside, baseball equipment. Kids have some of those like electrical scooters and stuff, and we don't expect it to rain here. And every night when I do know there's rain coming, I will have a huge green and brown tarp. I cover all our stuff and just to keep it dry. And so when I wake up and it rains and I was not prepared for it, that actually makes me upset because my stuff gets wet. I got to let it dry out. I got to take out my kids' batteries out of their scooters and bikes and all the stuff that lights up. My grill gets wet, which sucks. I got to open that up and clean it out. Don't want rust. Yep. I do have a grill cover, but I still have extra pieces that I kind of have sitting out. I can't say how many times this has happened is like I'll wash my car because it's like 85 and clear. And then like the one day I wash my car, that night, the following night, it decides to rain and I wake up and my car's wet. And so that'll make me kind of grumpy. It's like, I just need to know that it's going to rain before. And I do check the weather, but a lot of times it'll say like, it's not going to rain until 11 a.m. the following day. And I'll wake up at 7 and it's raining. And I'm like, well, you kind of should have just covered it last night. So, that's makes me a little grumpy.
And it's so weird because when that stuff happens, how do you get over it? Just kind of puts you off tilt the rest of the day.
Dude, really? This is how I have to start my day?
There's like 3 phases before you get to the things that make us rage part. Yeah. And this is like phase 1. What's that thing that just, that's what we're talking about. And if like 2 or 3 these things happen at once, that's when I go to like rage mode. But like one of them out of the gate, I'm just like, oh man, that sucks. This is frustrating. One for me that I've kind of noticed, a bad cup of coffee in the morning.
Oh, really?
Just puts me off tilt because I was not a huge coffee drinker all through college. I didn't drink coffee. Didn't start drinking coffee till I had kids and thought I need something to survive because I can't.
Right.
And now I really look forward to it. And I think I've said it on here. We have our own espresso machine and all that stuff. And so I love that, like just doing that in the morning. And there's some really good coffee in there. And when you have coffee that just isn't up to par in the morning, like every time you drink it, you're just like, I just wish it was better, Right. That sucks. That's hard for me.
Yeah. So you are kind of a coffee snob is extreme, but
no, I'm in the coffee snob world for sure. I'm like looking at when the beans were roasted date type.
Oh
person.
Yeah. See, that's not me. I will.
We grind all our own coffee. We do all of that. So
my standards are pretty low. Like I will get in bed with any cup of coffee, which is
Folgers, cheapest stuff. Come on,
no, I got no standards here. I kind of a coffee hoe, maybe that's kind of.
You're the opposite.
Whatever I can get, give it to me.
No, I'm definitely a little more on the snobby side of things.
Okay,
I like having a good cup of coffee in the morning. So what else you got?
Okay.
What else makes you grumpy, Dad?
What makes me grumpy is if I'm ever in the kitchen and I'm like making food, making dinner, and I'm missing an ingredient that I didn't realize, and I got to stop everything and I got to go to the store.
Yes.
It messes up my timing if I have stuff already like in the oven or I have like a plan set. There's nothing worse than running to the store to go get one more egg.
Yeah.
That's a bummer. And everything sits out. You got to cover it all. And I am a little. I feel like this is normal, but I'm very sensitive to like the timing of things. And so if I'm not like, I'm go with the flow and I can be flexible. But when I'm like doing something, like if my day, the structure of my day, is not functioning how I need it to, I kind of freak out and I don't do well and it makes me upset. This is one of those things. And so, and I should check before. I'm not that person that's going to pull out all the ingredients before I start cooking. You know me. I'm not going to do that. And so that's happened a couple times when I'm making something and I'm like, I'm out of vanilla extract. So now I gotta go. So it makes me a little grumpy.
Yeah.
Kind of a small one, but
makes sense. In a similar vein, not so much with food, but when it comes to the small things in the technology world, I go to use the remote, my batteries are dead.
Oh, dead batteries.
My headphones are dead.
Yeah.
I go to use a tool outside, or this one's happened so many times. I go to grab my drill, and I go to work on something, and I just didn't plug it in, and the battery on my drill is dead. That maybe it's more like being unproductive. Like I can't just do the next thing because batteries are dead. That ticks me off. And it just puts me in a bad mood. I'm like, oh, man, dang. Because now, then you have to wait. You got to wait for to charge, or you got to go swap batteries or whatever. Yeah, that kind of stuff gets me to level 1. There are other electronic things that happen that push me straight to the things that make me rage area. But that's one of them that I'm just like, this is annoying, Or like you go to turn on Netflix and the app crashes and then you have to do it over again.
Yeah.
Why Netflix?
Or there's just a spinning circle that's like stuck at like 33%. And
it's just,
yeah.
I'm just like, I don't even want to watch anymore. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm done. Like I'll do something else with my time.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So those things make me grumpy,
Yeah. Another thing that's kind of gotten to me, and this has been like just a slow, drawn out process for me, but I'm there now. Commercials in non-sporting shows.
Yes.
Because we got spoiled for a while because we were pretty much commercial free for a long time on Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus. Now I get it. You can pay for all that crap, and you can pay an extra $15 a month for all those things, and I have the commercials. I got 3 kids. They're in private school. I don't want to hear it. I'm not going to pay. I'm not going to jump from $7 to $24 a month just so I don't have to see a Claritin commercial,
right?
Or a Carnival Cruises commercial. But these commercials now on these shows are driving me insane, and it's the same commercials over and over.
It's the same ones always.
If I'm watching the Lakers or the Dodgers or something, it's a commercial. I don't care if the commercial breaks are fine because it's different commercials, and that's usually time for me to get up and get a snack or a refill or bathroom or something, and I'm fine. But if I'm watching, so we started watching Paradise on Hulu.
Okay,
dude, it's really good.
Solid.
Very good. And it's a super intense, serious show, and it'll be like kind of at this really climactic moment, and then it's just like a tax commercial for TurboTax, and it's the same one over and over again. And it just drives me insane because then like it breaks that moment of like then coming back to it and having to like pick up where you were.
Yes,
and I hate it. So
in a very, very similar vein, YouTube commercials have been pissing me off like that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to watch this podcast and really important things are being shared, and right in the middle of this guy telling a story about, him and his wife, all of a sudden it's like it goes to this commercial about taxes or signing up for getting gold or whatever. And I'm like, dude, and so when I turn those on, I'm usually sitting on my bike in my garage, my exercise bike, and I'm only doing 20 minutes. And dude, I counted it yesterday, 12 commercials in 20 minutes on YouTube, like 12 breaks. So that's like the little 5-second commercial. Then you hit skip, and then there's another little 5-second, 12 breaks in 20 minutes. And I was like, dude, this is enough to make me not do this anymore. So yeah, that was.
I have realized, I think we've talked about this. I feel like I have a vague memory of this. I feel like commercials, for me, I'm not saying for everybody because I'm sure there's facts that prove commercials are effective. Commercials make me not want to use a product more than they do.
1,000%. Yep.
Like if I see a commercial, I'm like less likely to use your product. I feel like, other than I know the product name, but more times than not, it's just like I know your product name to now avoid it. So unless you're Gillette, because I love Gillette.
Makes sense.
Mine. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to say, do you have another one?
I do, and this is kind of this has been a process as well, because this used to kind of, as embarrassing as it sounds, it used to kind of make me rage a little bit, on the brink of rage, maybe not fully there. When my sports teams lose, now it's just enough. I just get a little grumpy.
That's right to number 3 for me.
You gotta give Dad some space, especially if it's like a tough loss. And it now it varies sport to sport. Like if the Dolphins lose, I will be grumpy the rest of the day. I won't take it out on my kids. I'm like, I've graduated from that. But football, if the Dolphins lose on Sunday, because there's just one game a week, makes me incredibly grumpy. The Dodgers and the Lakers, when they lose,
there's enough games in the season. It doesn't kill you. You want to win the big ones, obviously.
Right.
But, yeah, that is tough.
It's just not. And the one thing about football, too, is football is usually on earlier in the day, which kind of sucks. If the Dodgers lose to the Braves on a Thursday night, it's like 9:30 when the game ends.
I was going to say 10 o'clock, yeah.
I'm going to bed, whatever. Wake up tomorrow, we get to play them again. But, like, if like the freaking Dolphins need to win a game to keep their playoff hopes alive, and they lose, and
they lose to the Jets at home.
They're down 24-10 at halftime, and it's not looking good. I'm like, oh my god, like I got the rest of the freaking day like this, and then the rest of the week, all the content that I'm going to hear is about them losing. It's just awful. So
yeah, I was actually going to say fantasy football teams for me.
Oh,
that is so frustrating because it's all on me. I'm the one that made the picks. I'm the one, and it's like, dang, dude, I suck.
It's all luck. That's what I tell myself because I've never won.
Say you say that because you started 0-8. I think this last.
Bro, I started just throwing out flyers to people, man. Yeah, awful.
It was rough.
The least fun I've ever had in fantasy football was this season.
Yeah, that was tough. My last one. This one's gonna maybe come out of left field. Joe Gibbs Racing. Can't stand those guys, dude. Denny Hamlin, Ty Gibbs, come on, man,
dude. They're all babies.
Can't stand those guys.
I know.
Penske's not far behind though. There's Logano and freaking Austin Cindric. I mean,
they're all just whiny babies. There's excuses for everything.
Everything, dude. Everything, and they keep knocking off Hendricks guys from winning. Christopher Bell won this last week, and Byron was right there. But Bell is probably the most likable one out of all of them to me.
He also, have you realized he looks like he's like 12?
Yeah, 100%.
His baby face.
Yeah.
He's got to be 20, 26, 27 now.
I don't know. But I watched the video of Kyle Busch screaming at him from last year at COTA, and my wife saw that video. And she's like, why is this dude yelling at this kid?
Yeah.
He's such a jerk.
Dude, there's Hamlin, Logano, Keselowski.
There's a handful of them that I just can't stand, dude.
And I get it. Like NASCAR is very competitive, and like it is kind of personal because, you know, if you beat someone in another sport, they just played better than me. But like NASCAR, you're sharing. Like, imagine if everyone on the PGA Tour had to golf at the same time on the same course.
Yeah, right. It'd be a nightmare.
Yeah, but this is like they're all racing together, and so if one guy does something and it affects you, it's obviously gonna affect your mood. I think I'd have a hard time keeping a level head as a NASCAR driver. But there is a group of guys that just whine and complain about
They're just so
frustrating.
Yeah. And I feel like I keep seeing them. It's the dudes from Joe Gibbs Racing. I feel like I see it all the time.
Well, and it's always the same post. It's always a guy who was like had a really competitive car and they finished like 8th, and then they interview him. It's like, well, you know, had a great car today. Just got a couple guys out here that don't seem to be knowing what they're doing. I don't know if it's the first time holding the steering wheel.
Right.
And it's just like, bro, what do you like? Everyone knows what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, so I don't know.
Ridiculous.
We should do fake NASCAR interviews next week. That's what we should do. Give our best NASCAR interview impressions.
Yeah.
That we should do one where we won the race, and then one where we got taken out on the last lap, and we both need to do both, and we'll go back and forth, and we'll do our
That'd be funny.
our post race best NASCAR interviews, accents
funny.
included.
That would be funny. Yeah, that'd be funny. But anyways, other dads out there, we would love to hear from you guys too. You can comment on this video. Let us know what are some things that make you grumpy. Maybe it's stepping in dog poop in the backyard. Maybe
I almost put that on my list.
My sister-in-law came over this last week. They brought her dog, and their dog barfed all over our rug.
Oh, no.
That kind of sucks. Like, you brought your dog over, and then
Just
it
throw up
barfs
in my
all
house?
over my rug. What the heck? It's cool, though. I know. It's not her fault. You know, obviously, she didn't know that was going to happen, but
She probably felt pretty bad. That's kind of awkward.
she did feel bad. So that kind of stuff, you know, but we want to hear what are some other things that put you in a grumpy mood, you know?
That-
Here, a close second for me, too, is Amazon packages not showing up on time.
Oh, dude,
Why does that make me grumpy?
We got this big like backdrop for Jaden's birthday last week. I didn't talk about Jaden's birthday. Oh man, he turned 7. We had his party.
Huge.
We did a King Kong thing, and Christina ordered like this King Kong Godzilla backdrop, like a big one, and it was supposed to show up. His party was Sunday. It was supposed to show up Saturday, and then they notified us on like Friday that's going to show up on Monday. And we're like, well, we don't
That
need
sucks.
this huge like
Yeah.
10 by 12 backdrop.
Like, you
for
still want this?
anything other than his party, but
Yeah.
so we had to send that back. I was gonna say one last thing, and I don't remember. Maybe it wasn't important. Probably not important.
Also, another dad thing when we can't remember stuff that can.
I
that can
just
make you
had
grumpy
it too.
sometimes. Well, anyways, let us know. We'd love to hear from you in the comments, and we will talk to you more next week.